You're driving in a school zone. That means the speed limit is 25 miles per hour. We should all know that if we're taking driver's ed or able to drive by now. The axle on which your 23-inch diameter car tires are attached rotates 6 times per second. You suddenly notice a really grumpy cop looking at your car. Can the cop write you a ticket for not following the speed limit? If so, how many miles per hour over/under are you driving? So miles per hour is what we want to finish with, but we right now only know that it is rotating essentially 6 times per second. So that's the information we are starting with. Then we also have that the car tires have a 23-inch diameter, and if we haven't noticed by now, you're probably going to need to find circumference in order to work out this problem. So I'm going to start this off like the last example, and we're going to acknowledge what rate we're starting with, which is 6, I'm going to say revolutions, 6 rev per second. And I want to go and figure out how many miles per hour we're traveling. Then we could figure out if we're going to get a ticket or not. So I'm going to start off with 6 revolutions in 1 second. Now, like I mentioned before, just persevere, push through. Even if you don't see how you're going to get to the finish line, what could we change? Well, we can change that seconds into minutes, and then minutes into hours, right? So I need seconds on top to cross it out. That's equal 60 seconds to 1 minute. Then I can say 60 minutes up top, so minutes cross out, and that is 1 hour. So where am I right now? Well, right now I have seconds gone, minutes gone. So I'm in revolutions per hour. So think of the last example we just looked at in the most recent video. Miles, we're going to get to that from feet. We're going to get to feet from inches. Can I get from revolutions straight to inches? So in the last example, I broke it up into 2 parts. I'm going to do it in 1 step here. So I want revolutions to cross out 1 rev. Okay, so I made a little plan. I'm going to go to revs. I'm going to get from revs to inches to feet to miles, and boom, there we go. So I have 1 revolution is equal to a certain number of inches. How many inches, you ask? Well, we'll figure that out in a moment. There's our mystery, big question. From here, I can say without a doubt that 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. And I could say that 5,280 feet equals 1 mile. So I got everything I need. Revolutions is going to cross out with revolutions. I have that inches will cross out with inches. And feet will cross out with feet. All we're going to have left is miles per hour. Now the big question is, though, how many inches? We have a 23-inch diameter tire. That is not equal to 1 revolution. We're going to see that from a lot of people. 23 is the diameter. I'm curious about the outside. So like I mentioned before, we're going to need circumference. Circumference, which is 2 pi r, or pi d, will equal 23 pi inches. So that outer part of the tire, when it rolls, right, that outer part of the tire is equal to 1 revolution. That's the distance the tire will travel, whatever 23 times pi is, 23 times 3.14. So something like 70-ish inches in 1 revolution. The car will move 70 inches. So we have everything we need right now. And now all we have to do is punch everything in the calculator. We're going to multiply everything from our numerator. We had 6 times 60 times 60 times 23. I don't really have to put times here, but I'm going to just keep putting everything with the multiplication. Okay, that's my numerator divided by, and I'm going to divide by each piece of my denominator one by one. So the first thing I'm dividing by is going to be 12, enter, and then divided by 5,280, enter, and that is 24.63 miles per hour. That's the speed you're traveling at. So is it reasonable? Is the cop really going to be able to give you a ticket? Nope. No ticket, unless he's like a major jerk, but... And he looks like we were going 0.37 miles per hour below the speed limit, which seems pretty good if you ask me. Good driving. I hope that this makes sense. Redo the same problems over and over until they make sense. Talk it out to yourself, whatever you need to do. Thumbs up if this was helpful. Comment if you have a request for a different video or a specific question. Thumbs down if you're miserable and hate this and don't know what you're doing. Don't worry, my feelings won't be hurt. And that's it for now. Adios.